Howdy folks, and welcome to possibly the last segment of this series. We've came a long way across the generations of teams that you've never used before, and the last Johto team that was created, I would say is probably the most unique one I have ever made. Today though, however, we found our way over to the 7.8 games out of 10, the Hoenn remakes of Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. We have done Hoenn before, but it was for the original games of Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. With Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire as our base, we now have the physical special split. I wonder how different the team will be with these changes. We've got some pretty unique options that will definitely throw you guys for a loop. It's not a worst team by any means, but it will definitely take you all for a ride. I can also safely say no one will ever make the claim they've used this team, because we got some heat, but also some way out in left field picks alongside the heat, if that makes sense. Rather than talk about it, allow me to showcase it. Also, Mystic Reads and Shorts. You guys know the routine. Alrighty, so last time on the Hoenn team, I threw you guys Beautifly. Well, this time we're going in a similar direction, except with a Pokemon that has a 1% encounter rate. And no, it's not Ralts, for all you Gardevoir haters out there. It's Surskit. Who in their right mind would drop their starter for this? Before you comment and tell me so-and-so did a challenge video with this, I said right mind. Those people have balls of steel and a lot of patience, which I don't have. But Surskit can be found on Route 2 with the 1% encounter rate, and you're stuck with it until level 22. The fact of the matter is this. The amount of time it takes to get this Mon is a huge turnoff for a lot of people, especially because I really don't see a lot of people using Masquerain in the first place. But that doesn't mean people haven't used it. I don't see bug types being used all that often in Hoenn regardless anyway. And I feel if people were to use a bug type, Heracross would obviously be the one. For a moveset on Masquerain, we have Quiver Dance, Bug Buzz / Silverwind, Air Slash, and Shadow Ball. For starters, I just want to say, this moveset is pretty stacked. Quiver Dance and Bug Buzz can be relearned via Mover Learner, so be sure to get some heart skills. Or you can wait till level 42 for Bug Buzz and 52 for Quiver Dance. Silverwind can also be another fun option if you like the chance of getting a stat increase. That can be learned at level 32. Air Slash can be learned at level 38, and the Shadow Ball TM can be found at Mount Pyre. Also, at level 17, Surskit will get access to Bubble Beam, so that will be handy for Roxanne. Up second is a version-exclusive Pokemon being Shiftry. If you're playing Alpha Sapphire, you're out of luck, because C-Dot is only available in Omega Ruby. So you're gonna have to play Omega Ruby, or you're gonna have to trade one over to your Alpha Sapphire copy. If you are playing Omega Ruby though, the encounter rate for C-Dot on Route 102 is still an 8% rate of finding one. So not only will you be trying to find a Surskit with a 1% encounter rate, now you gotta find this Acorn too. I will say though, Oras did some justice to the Shiftry line, because now it has access to some physical grass and dark type attacks, making it a much better choice than it was in Generation 3. C-Dot can evolve in the Nuzleaf at level 14, and then you'll learn some pretty good attacks via level up. You can pretty much choose to evolve it in the Shiftry whenever you want, however. But you will need a Leaf Stone. You can find a Leaf Stone on Route 119 close to Fortree City by surfing down a certain path. Shiftry's moveset will include Leaf Blade, Feint Attack, Aerial Ace, and Low Sweep. I was gonna choose X-Scissor for a piece of coverage, but it's so late in the game that I figured it was a waste. So we're going with these instead. Anywho, Leaf Blade can be learned as a Nuzleaf at level 28, and Feint Attack is learned at level 31. Both Aerial Ace and Low Sweep can be purchased from the Mauville Pokemart for 10k Pokédollars each. This is actually a pretty good moveset for Shiftry, all things considered. Not to mention Low Sweep drops the speed of your opponent by one stage, so that may come in handy from time to time. At the halfway point of the team, we actually have a repeating member from the original Hoenn team being Slaking. I figured throwing a repeat on here wouldn't be all that obvious, so I figured this scheme could work. Now, as we all know, Slaking has some incredibly deadly stats, but they come with a major price to pay. Truant. Oh, and would you look at this? Slackoth only has a 2% encounter rate. By now, you guys must be getting pretty annoyed. And that's great, because this further proves you haven't used this team. Slackoth also starts with Truant, so right off the bat, you'll also have to deal with that. Once you've found Slackoth, it evolves into Vigoroth at level 18, so at least for a little while, Truant will be gone. Then at level 36, Vigoroth will evolve into Slaking. Let's take a look at those moves though, shall we? Strength, Play Rough, Earthquake, and Low Sweep. Gen 6 gave this Sting more coverage access. You'll love to see it. Strength can be given to you by your rival after defeating Watson and making your way past the Rock Smash rocks towards Route 111. For Play Rough, it can be learned at level 38 as a Slackoth, and I challenge you to do this, as it will be very annoying to have a Slackoth all the way at that point in the game. However, for those who don't like the idea of waiting that long to evolve your Slackoth, don't worry, I'll throw you a bone. Teach it Shadow Claw instead. The TM for that can be found in Granite Cave after you've obtained the Mach Bike, which is pretty early on all things considered, and you'll still be able to evolve your Slackoth at the proper levels. Next, we have Earthquake, and that can be found in the Seafloor Cavern. Lastly, there's Low Sweep, which I already mentioned previously can be bought at the Mauville Pokemart for 10,000 Pokédollars. Starting the second half of the team is where I know now this team has definitely never been used. We have a pretty great normal type with Slaking, which I would say is used quite a bit, even with Truant. There is a possibility that you guys could have used Slaking in tandem with Masquerain and Shiftry. However, now, there is no way you've used this team. Absolutely no way, no how. Why? Because we got Delcatty. Being straight up, there is no way you're using Delcatty and Slaking on the same team. The crappiest normal type in Hoenn with one of the best ones. If you say you've used this team, I'm calling your bluff right now. I don't need to give a rundown of how crappy Delcatty is, but I can tell you where to find Skitty and the Moonstone to evolve it. Skitty can be found on Route 116 with the 2% encounter rate. I'll bet you're loving these rare encounters, aren't you? Then the Moonstone can be found at Meteor Falls. Yeah, there's no way you've used this team so far. I'm gonna say it again. Delcatty's moveset consists of Facade/Return, Play Rough, Dig, and Thunderwave. I would suggest using the Return team on it, because it's gonna need all the offensive power it can get. You could use this on Slaking, but with all the offensive power it has, I deem it unnecessary. Plus, you need strength. Play Rough can be learned at level 46. Actually guys, I realized Skitty learns Play Rough at level 46, not Delcatty. Wild Charge can be a move that can replace Play Rough though. The Wild Charge TM can be found in the Safari Zone. The TM for Dig can be found from the Fossil Maniac's little brother, and the Thunderwave TM can be bought from the marketplace in Slateport City. So at this point in time, like I said, you have not used this team. But if for whatever reason you somehow have, it'd be a miracle if you did. Now, here's where I know for a fact you haven't. Up next is Golem. Not everyone has access to Trait Evolution, nor does anyone want to go through the process. On top of the 4 mons I just mentioned, a Trait Evolution would definitely fit into this trope of not everyone has used this. Golem isn't the greatest Pokemon, but it's not the worst. And Geodude can be found pretty dang early at the Granite Cave. Once you've captured Geodude, it evolves into Graveler at level 25, and from there, that can be evolved into Golem straight away. With Golem though, I don't think a lot of people are going to use it, because not only is it a Trait Evolution, but there are also other ground type options to use. I can name a few right now: Swampert, Flygon, or Donphan. Like I said, Golem isn't a terrible Pokemon, especially on the in-game front. Early game accessibility with Geodude helps its case a lot. In fact, you'll actually have it for Watson, which is one of the main reasons why you should have a ground type in the first place. Moveset-wise, we've got Earthquake, any kind of rock type move really, Heavy Slam, and I guess Rock Polish could be fun. Earthquake I've already mentioned where to get. For rock type stab, you get a few via level up, but the 2 I recommend are obviously Rock Slide and Stone Edge. Rock Slide can be found as a TM on Route 134 next to Pacific Town after going through the Water Surf Maze, and Stone Edge can be bought as a TM from the Lily Cove department store. Heavy Slam can be move relearned. The last Pokemon on the team is probably one of the most forgotten water Pokemon in existence: Seaking. Seaking is the perfect choice to wrap up this team. I never see anyone using Seaking, and with that aspect, it's perfect to add to a team of Pokemon that nobody uses. It's a physical attacking water type with a decent attack stat but not so great speed. but for in-game, it's passable. Goldeen can be found on Route 102 using the Good Rod with a 35% encounter rate. Luckily, it can be found at level 25 and will evolve at level 33, which isn't that long. For Seaking's moveset, I have to say it's not that bad. Waterfall, Mega Hoenn, Poison Jab, and Ice Beam. I wish Seaking had a physical ice move, but it is what it is, and we gotta do the best with what we got. Waterfall can be learned via level up at level 32, and that is the best stab attack Seaking can get access to. Mega Hoenn and Poison Jab can both be move relearned, and are honestly some pretty good pieces of coverage. Lastly is Ice Beam, which can be found via diving under the abandoned ship. So Seaking, while not being the best water type Pokemon to use in Hoenn, with this moveset, it can be bearable. Well, that's another team wrapped up, and I can safely and strongly say you have never used this team before. This team isn't just a team filled with the worst Pokemon in the region, even though there are some pretty bad Pokemon. I feel it's pretty unique though. But what do you guys think? Do you like this team? Or do you not like it? Let me know your thoughts down below. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching my content. With Scarlet and Violet DLC on the way, we have a lot to be excited for. Not just that though, but I've got a bunch of other cool series planned throughout the year that I'm sure you guys will love. If you want to support my other forms of content, over on Mystic Reads, I read fanfics. One of them right now is Road to be a Pokemon Master Kanto Edition, where Ash and Serena start from the very beginning and journey through Kanto together. On Mystic Umbreon Shorts, I do other exclusive Pokemon content such as Pokemon Facts, and on Saturdays, I upload my top 5 favorite Pokemon of a type. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have an excellent day.